G'day leaders, in this episode of Captain and the Clown, we are talking about dream ignition, what it means to have a dream and the lengths that you'll go to fulfill it. Enjoy. Why did it count backwards? I know, that we're now recording.
What? Hello, Captain.
What do I...
Come fly with me. Let's fly away.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. So, leadership, life, and everything else.
Yeah.
And we're live again in Bali.
Yes, although we won't be live.
It's been that long since you forget that your job is to dismiss me saying we're live.
It's been a while, yes.
Yeah. And anyway, you'll get used to it again.
Yeah, I will.
No, we're not, Guy.
No, we're not, Guy.
And we're live. What were your old sayings, you say?
No, we're recording.
We're recording. There you go. You'll get back into it. You'll get back into it. It's been a little hiatus. We recorded yesterday and we're on a roll.
We're on fire.
We're on roll 2 days in a row.
Yes.
2 days in a row. But yesterday I promised something that we didn't actually then do in the podcast. I promised a story from your book, Lady MacGyver, out now in all good bookstores and on the top seller list of the aviation engineers and also on the bestseller list at WHS Sydney.
Yeah, W.H. Smith.
Did I say just S? Okay, W.H. Smith.
H.
I know, you always pick me up on my pronunciation of H. What is the correct pronunciation of the letter, Michelle?
A-I-T-C-H.
So what's the correct pronunciation?
H.
So all those numbies that say H.
I think it's a Catholic thing, isn't it, the H?
I'm not Catholic.
No.
I didn't grow up with a religion. My parents weren't religious. So.
We won't get into that.
Okay,
Yep.
so it's not H, it's
H.
H. Okay, there we go. There's the first lesson from this podcast.
There will be people who disagree.
You can disagree all you want with Michelle, but she will fight tooth and nail for this one. The poor kids constantly get it's H, not H. And I'm the instigator because I always say, I've said H my whole life. I remember A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this podcast, we're calling it Dream Launch. Yes, I think that's what I put in the file. Okay. Dream launching.
Yes.
So because we were talking about one of the stories that we could share from Michelle's book, Lady MacGyver, out now. Yes. Out now. And that was the very first story as to how your dream of becoming a pilot.
Yes, but I'm not going to read from the book.
Dream Ignition.
Great, that's it,
Dream Ignition is the name of this podcast.
But I'm not going to read from the book.
But I'd like you to share that story because I find it a fabulous story because we've all had dreams that we've moved towards or ignored or forgotten about.
Or just held as a dream.
Or still holding as a dream.
Yes.
And those dreams start from somewhere.
Yes.
Your dream to be a pilot started in a very unusual way. So can you share?
Yes. So my father was in the RAAF, in the Air Force, and we moved to Malaysia. So Dad was based at Butterworth and we lived in Penang. And I was a bit of a tomboy as a kid. I was the son Dad never had. And I would go to the Air Force base with him. I loved the smell of the burnt kero, the fuel.
Avgas.
Well, it was Avtur. So
Avtur?
Yes,
oh,
the turbine fuel.
Again.
Yes.
What's tur?
A turbine.
Turbine,
Avtur.
Okay. Avtur.
And
all right, yep.
Jet A1 and...
Is it all the same thing?
No.
Okay. Jet A1, Avtur.
So it's like burnt
Avgas,
kerosene.
Right, we'll go burnt kero. Yep.
Yeah. And I loved the fact that, these military aircraft, the fast jets, you could see them and then seconds later you'd hear them, that boom afterwards. And I, as part of the way to keep children entertained, that we're Air Force children,
RAF rats.
RAF rats. Yeah, we had colouring in competitions, and I was really good at colouring in. And
you're still good at art.
Well, hopefully,
is this where it all
can go outside of colouring in. But my dad would make sure I coloured in between the lines, and I was 100% accurate with the camouflage pattern on particular aircraft and where the flags were and the markings and the regos. So Dad
I'm picturing your colouring in. It would look like a photograph.
Well, Dad made sure, and I was 7. And we would go out to the base, and I would be positioned next to an aircraft, and I would copy everything down, the shadows and things. And so I won quite a few competitions. And our prizes were flights in Caribou, Chinooks, Hercules, clapping. And I won them so often, and I'm not bragging here, but I saw...
Yes, you are. You're a very good artist. You're allowed to brag.
I'm hopefully an artist that goes outside
I brag
the
about
lines.
your art all the time. I tell people I live in an art gallery. So, continue your story without my interruptions.
Thank
but I
you.
will interrupt again because I enjoy it.
I saw pilots flying the aircraft, and naively, in my childish innocence, I would think they were just doing the same, toggle flicking, button pushing in the same sequence every time. And as a kid, you think, yeah, I can do that, because you see the pattern. I'm one of those children, probably now would be diagnosed with something, but one of those kids that wallpaper back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, we had it, and I could see the repeat, and I would also see in the negative, faces and different things. So, but I saw the pattern in what the pilots were doing, and it looked easy. Anyway, this
isn't it? Flying planes?
Oh, it is. But yeah. I had no understanding of what you needed to actually know for when things went wrong. But the flight that kind of sealed the deal with as far as igniting the dream of flying was, again, I'd won first prize, and we were there at the base, and we were marched across to a line of aircraft. And as I climbed the stairs, and they were similar to, the backyard pool stairs, the above ground
the little ones.
Yep, the little stairs, and I climbed up, and I got in the seat, and the pilot leaned across. He was behind me, leaned across and helped me fasten my 5-point harness. And
it's a serious seatbelt.
It is. It was keeping everything in. And he said to me, Michelle, do not touch anything, which was really good advice, because I was only 7, and we were in a Mirage 3 fighter jet, which was beyond awesome.
You're in a Mirage fighter jet H7.
Yeah, the trainer.
By the way, I know this story, but
Yes.
again, every time I listen to it, I think, oh my God, how do you put a 7-year-old into a Mirage fighter and then take them up on a flight?
Well, the funny thing is, I spoke to my dad only a couple of weeks ago. He read the book, and he said, I can't believe we let you do that. Like, thinking back now, all the things that could have gone wrong. And, if you'd had to eject, you probably would have broken. Like, you're a 7-year-old child.
Eject! What do I do? What do I do?
Well, no, just there are so many things that could go wrong. But
would they
anyway,
have been able to eject you, or would you have had to have ejected yourself, just like Top Gun, where they're pulling that round thing?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I've not
imagine,
been in a Mirage.
Imagine that. You're in danger and the pilot's going, Michelle, eject, and you're going, what does that mean?
Yeah,
I don't have my cassette recorder with me.
In reality, I would probably not let my kids do it, even now at 14. But
OHS was a bit different back then.
It didn't exist. Yeah, that's right. It was pretty loose, OHS. So, and
so okay, now I want to put us in the seat. All right?
Okay.
Put our audience in the seat and tell us the experience of flying in a fighter jet H7.
So I've got the 5-point harness on, which is pretty tight, so I couldn't really move. And then it seemed we started, and you felt that roar of the engine. I felt it through my body, just that like... brrr.
Just like my old 1969 VW Beetle.
No, it was bigger than that. So the engine at the back, and it just roared. And then we felt it seemed to go from a standing start to straight vertical towards the moon within seconds.
How many G's are you pulling there?
I don't know. I didn't black out or grey out.
Wow.
But we went straight. It felt like we went straight up. Mind you, it could have been just a normal climb.
But a slow climb for a Mirage. But you're thinking,
so my memory from back then is like I've probably created, we went to the moon. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it was mainly up to 3,000 feet or something. I don't know. But it felt like we went straight up. And then there was that feeling of weightlessness when we nosed over, and it was just that, like, you get that funny feeling in your tummy, and it's like, oh.
All of a sudden you're weightless.
Yes.
Yeah.
and then screaming back down, and it felt like we were pointed to earth.
Yeah.
Again, probably just a normal descent, but fast.
And you're 7.
Yeah, and I remember, like, I was screaming audibly, not from fear, just excitement. It was like the best roller coaster ride you could ever do.
Yeah.
And when we leveled out, and then I think we just did a normal circuit entry pattern back in to land, it was just like, oh, that's what I want to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a pilot, thinking I was going to fly Mirages, and that was it. You know, that was my dream.
So originally you were going to be a fighter pilot?
Yeah, although I didn't realise that fighter pilot meant that you had to fight.
Okay. it's not just, whee!
No, I just wanted to fly fast
Yeah,
planes.
you've got to shoot at other people.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to do that.
No.
Oh, well, I didn't actually think about it.
No, of course not, because I doubt on your joyride you would have been shooting at things.
Yeah, no.
No, okay. And so that's when your dream to be a pilot was ignited.
Yes.
Wow.
So
How many people on the planet have that sort of experience where their dream was ignited at 7 with such an extreme level of intense emotions? And, you know, that's
probably about 5.
5, 7-year-olds. And they're
Possibly,
all,
all
they're all
from
now
Malaysia.
pilots.
Yes.
4 didn't survive. You're the only one. That's just an extraordinary story. And every time I hear it, I put myself in that seat and I feel what you felt. And I can only imagine that would have ignited your dream.
So how about you? Have you got any dream
I've
dream
had
ignition?
dreams, yes. Lots of, I don't know about dream ignition, but sorry, just before we do that, can I just go back to, you know, and that's when it all started for you. And the fact that I've obviously read your book many, many times throughout the whole editing process. And to know what you went through to become an airline captain at the end. Again, I know I've told you this thousands of times, just directly in person, off microphone, is I take my hat off to you. What you had to go through, and the challenges you overcame, and then the heights that you reached in your airline, in your aviation, yeah, exactly. That's a long way up in your aviation career. Kudos to you, Michelle. That you had a dream at 7, but then you worked tirelessly and often foolishly, and maybe one day we'll tell that foolish story.
Yes. Some could say I'm stubborn.
Stubborn. That stubbornness was a beautiful trait in you because it got you to where you wanted to be. Yeah, extraordinary. But age 7, I didn't have any dreams at age 7.
Right.
None whatsoever. I was a shy, sensitive, insecure little sook.
Yes.
I've told everyone this many times in my courses and on the podcast. And I was a go with the flow sort of kid. I played footy because my brother played footy, and he was younger, but he was very, very good. And I played cricket and whatever, and a lot with my brother. I just I went along and just joined in, and I wasn't very goal-driven. I wasn't a very motivated young man, but I developed a skill. No, I discovered that I have a skill, and that is that I'm very good at putting my head in front of fast-moving objects. That's how they choose a goalkeeper.
Right.
They throw a brick at your head, and if you don't duck, you're the goalie.
Yep.
So I had never had a goal to make the Olympic team. I played water polo because a teacher at school said, would anyone like to play the sport? I was in year 7, and he said, come and see me after assembly if you're interested in playing water polo. Now, I'd played every sport under the sun because I love sport and I'll give anything a go. So I went up and I played water polo, and that first year I was the worst player in the water. I was horrible. I could tread water, but I was a skinny little kid and weak and quite useless. And I'll just tell a quick side story. I went to my water polo club, Albury Water Polo Club was my first water polo club down in Albury, obviously. And I went to the, I think, the 30-year reunion.
Yes.
And I'm an Olympian at that stage. But one of the guys came up to me and said, "Oh, I still can't believe you made it. You were the worst bloody player in the whole team."
Was that the one we went to last
useless.
year?
Yeah, the one that you were at. Yeah. And anyway, I still find that very funny. But so I played water polo, but I was never goal-driven, but I just kept on turning up, because I like participating. I like joining in with what other people are doing, and then eventually I was offered a scholarship to the Australian Institute of Sport. And again, it wasn't a goal that I was working towards. I wasn't working towards any of these goals. And it wasn't until I got to the Institute where I was surrounded by all these very motivated, very, very goal-driven human beings where I started to catch on that I need to set goals. And so, yeah, that's when I set my goal for being an Olympian and for being the best in the world. But it was only because I was surrounded by other motivated people.
Yeah.
So you got to fly in a fighter jet. I just happened to be living with the most motivated athletes in the country, and it was kind of infectious.
Yeah. Well, look, there's something about your tribe, who you hang around, definitely, or seeing somebody who's doing it that then gives you the confidence and the, I say the script, but also the ways forward.
Yeah.
That there is a pathway forward.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, and I read somewhere, I don't know where I read it, about a lot of people feel that they've failed in their dreams or goals if they haven't made it to number one.
Yeah.
But a dream or a goal doesn't need to be the best of. It's your best. And your best may be not number one, but number 27.
Yeah.
Or, 16, or it might be the third or whatever, especially even in teams. Like if I remember when I was a teen, I wanted to travel to America and to Canada and like I wanted to see the world and to London. And I was in a marching band, the Marching Koalas from Newcastle, the combined high school marching band. Now, I couldn't play an instrument, and I was on the drill squad, which was we twirled flags, we twirled batons. I was Australian flag at one stage. It's because I was tall, and
you're still tall, Michelle.
But it wasn't the fact I wasn't the best at playing any instruments. I definitely wasn't the best in drill squad at all. But cohesively as a team, we complemented and supported each other, and we got to go to those places. It was great. So yeah, I just wanted to say that you don't have to. You
don't have to be the best.
No.
But you want to aim for your best.
Yeah, but you can still achieve goals and dreams.
Yeah.
Being part of a team or collective or whatever.
There's one thing that we talk about in our time management course that is relevant to this discussion. So goals don't create happiness.
No.
And I learned this from Scott Adams from the Dilbert comic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I don't remember where I read it, but he's attributed as saying that goals don't create happiness. Your daily routines do. Yeah. So goals are simply things that you want to achieve at some point in time in the future. The problem with having goals is that when you focus on them, you're focusing on the future.
We've spoken about this before.
We have
yes,
in the podcast. So you're always focused on the future, which means that you get into this mindset. I'll be happy when I achieve that goal. I'll be happy when I get that thing or whatever it is. But no, you won't, because when you get there, you've already moved past it, because time's not going to stop for you. And now you've got to set another goal. So what goals do is they just give you direction, don't they?
Yeah, it's your North Star, and then enjoying the journey is important.
That's where the secret is.
Yeah, and I've spoken about this before. There were so many pilots that were so set on getting into the airlines. They really despised the flying they needed to do to build the hours beforehand.
Yeah.
And which is really sad, because it's still your life. And I cannot say that there was a single trip that I didn't love. Like I enjoyed, and some of them taught me lessons, definitely, and there were days that were better than others, but every single day was one another step towards getting into an airline. But also I learned so much and met so many nice people, and a lot of those people I'm still in contact with. It was fun.
See, I think that's maybe a bit of the difference between your journey and my journey. Turning up to the pool and killing ourselves physically, I didn't at first find fun. So I couldn't find the pleasure in the day. I couldn't find the pleasure in the day because it was all pain. People are throwing balls at me at 95 kilometers an hour, it's smashing my ligaments and breaking my nose, and then we're swimming 4, 5, 6 kilometers where we're holding weights above our head. It was grueling punishment every day. And finding the fun, the enjoyment in that didn't come until later. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from.
Oh, look,
but
I'm
listening
not,
to
I'm
your
not
story,
saying, but I'm not saying it was easy.
No, I'm not
in
saying
any
it was
way.
easy for you. I'm saying what you did took a lot of effort and training and learning, and it wasn't easy.
No.
But the way you describe it to me is that you were able to enjoy the process.
Look, if nothing
journey.
else, they're great stories at the bar. You know, there were days when the aircraft were just held together, and, you know, they had oil leaks and fuel leaks, and you needed, 10 air fresheners in the aircraft because the
what
fuel...
was that Lady MacGyver thing you did with the wheel struts?
No, I won't tell that one this time.
Okay.
But there were times when, you know, you had substandard equipment and substandard weather. There was, you know, rainbows at one stage equaled danger to me, because every time I saw a rainbow, it was like, oh, there's lightning around, or, you know, some
really?
downdrafts.
Is that the case?
And things.
Rainbows?
No, that's what I associated it with. But it was... There were times when the turbulence was so bad, your teeth were chattering, and you couldn't see the instruments, and things weren't amazing. But every single day, I slept, like every single night, I slept well, thinking, well, that was an experience, or that's an hour I've definitely earned in the logbook this day. And I don't know.
And you loved flying.
I did. I love flying, and even when I was. And I will admit I was scared sometimes, but it was because I'd read about it. So I was book smart, but not necessarily experience smart. And I knew I had to get out into it.
Yeah.
There was, because it was not something that I had experienced before or was familiar with, or I'd had an experience that wasn't particularly fun.
Yeah.
And so I had an apprehension towards it. But again, more experience, more hours in it, I became more confident in my own ability, in my ability of reading the weather, the situation, etc. And then, of course, you move into airlines where you've got someone else to spitball with and to scream with. No, we didn't scream, but, you know, it was...
You had someone sitting next to you.
Yeah,
that you could share
rather than
the
your own
experience with,
reflection.
the story.
Definitely, yeah.
Whereas I had all the people sitting in front of me throwing things at me.
True.
I'm sure I've told you. Did I tell you that I didn't know I'd made the Olympic team when I made the Olympic team?
You did.
Have I told it on this podcast?
I don't know. You haven't.
Okay. So, like I said, I wasn't hugely goal driven. It was. I don't know what I was searching for. I think I was just searching.
Which is funny that you were the goalkeeper.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I wasn't scoring goals, Michelle.
No.
I was saving goals, and so I kind of had it set in my head that I'd like to go to an Olympics, but I hadn't targeted the Olympics that I went to. And we were at the Australian Championships in Adelaide. I was playing for New South Wales. We won, and then they said, all of these players, please join the coach in this room. So they'd virtually announced the Australian squad. Now, I'd been in the Australian squad beforehand. I'd played games for Australia. So I was kind of in the Australian team, but I was on the edge because I was young.
In and out.
Yes. And so they had an established goalkeeper, and then I was fighting, I guess, for the second place. And then they took us all into the room, and we're all standing there. And the captain, Chris Wybrow, one of the most amazing players Australia's ever had, and just a genuinely lovely human being, he walked up to me and he said, "Congratulations." And I said, "Oh, thanks, mate." And he said, "You've got no idea, do you?" And I went, What? And he said, "Have a look around the room." And I did. And again, I looked at him and I went, "What?" And he said, "How many goalkeepers are in this room?" And I looked around. I said, "2." And he said, "They only take 2 to the Olympics, mate. You just made the Olympic team." And I was in shock. That's how I discovered I was in the Olympic team. Somebody else had to point it out to me that they only ever take two goalkeepers, and there was only 2 in the room. And that was, it was a really lovely experience. One, because Chris was the person that delivered it, and I hold him in very high regard. But 2, the fact that I'd achieved a dream that I wasn't really
You didn't know you were dreaming.
I wasn't clawing for it. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like it was, if it happened sort of thing. But then from then on, I was going to claw tooth and nail for everything that came my way. I actually didn't want to, because I did feel a bit embarrassed that I didn't know. So I never wanted to feel that way again. So that's when I guess I started to claw, claw and nail.
Tooth and nail?
Tooth and nail. Well, yeah, whatever the saying
Claw,
is, Michelle,
yeah,
that
okay,
that I'm really not doing too
Claws
well
and
with.
teeth
Claws,
and nails,
yeah,
all of them.
scrambling for. Anyway, so from then on, I was quite goal driven, but prior to that, I hadn't been. Goals are an interesting thing. Yours were ignited at 7. Mine kind of came along on the journey, but they're important because they give you a direction. They give you something to work towards.
And you don't have to have a goal like my goal at 7. Okay, I realised it. And I have so many more dreams and goals.
That you haven't achieved?
No, not yet. No,
Not yet.
I'm on my way, and I have achieved other dreams and goals. So it's just a constantly evolving, continuing to strive for something. Which makes, it gives me, my personality type, a reason to get up of a morning. Even when we do our, you were talking about Dilbert, Scott Adams was saying how, the, having the routine?
Routines is where happiness happens. So goals just create direction.
So
but
the fact
routines,
that
the
every
daily
morning
routines.
we play backgammon.
Yeah.
And, we have a coffee and we
go for a walk, watch the sunrise.
All of those routines definitely create a fantastic foundation for the day.
The morning vitamin drink.
It is, it is. And it's the fact that it's a routine, so something to look forward to. I don't actually have to think about because it's routine, it's a habit, but it is the best way for me to start the day.
Yeah. So if you can cultivate your daily routine, what you do every morning, and put it into a format where you don't need to think about it. So the night before you go to bed, put the lemon on the bench, put the glass and the water that you're going to be putting with the lemon and maybe the salt. So if you want to drink lemon water...
This sounds amazing, Guy, but we don't do that.
We don't have to. Well, but we don't have to.
No, we don't, because we do the thing.
Before we started having a vitamin drink, you might remember that we had lemon and salt every morning.
Yes.
We don't do that anymore because we've replaced it with a vitamin drink. But I used to put the lemon on the bench downstairs until it became a habit.
Yes, you're right.
So habit stacking.
Yes.
Yes. So if people want to know more about habit stacking, they need to read the book by James Clear. What's it called?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits, yes. About habit stacking. Anyway, I think that was a nice little story. Thank you for sharing with our listeners your when your dream was ignited.
Yeah, thanks, Guy. And you too.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and if you're hearing noises, we're going with the less AI smoothing of voices, and you'll hear cicadas, geckos, dogs barking,
people screaming.
And
they're white water rafters.
Just down from us,
about 50 metres down
there's
from
a
us,
rapid.
there's a river.
Yes, so that's what you're hearing.
And should we mention again the retreat that we're holding here next year?
Sure.
Yes, okay. So
we don't know what it's called.
We don't know what it's called yet. We will come up with a fancy title, but it won't be one of those overused titles. But essentially, we're going to be teaching two things. We're going to be teaching confidence and anti-fragility. Yes. So we're going to be deep diving into the concept of true confidence as opposed to contextual confidence. Contextual confidence is the confidence you have when you have skills, knowledge, or experience in a particular area or a particular context.
Yes.
But true confidence is applicable everywhere. And my book is almost complete, and it has the formula on how to achieve true confidence, get to that point where, I don't want to give away the formula here in the podcast, but because it's not completed quite yet. And then anti-fragility, the thing that we spend a lot of time teaching. Resilience. It's better than resilience. Resilience, you just bounce back. Yeah. But anti-fragility, you come back stronger.
Yeah.
So we're going to be spending a week over here next year. So we're not quite sure on the length of the workshop, probably 3 or 4 days. But anyway, we will send out information as it comes. All right, our sponsors, Lint, Bose, and who's the third one? Bollinger. Yeah. Where are you? We're still waiting. Haig's Chocolate might be getting a run. We might be mentioning Haig's Chocolate if Lint doesn't reach out to us soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
You're such a clown.
The clown captain.
Lady captain. There we go.
And who's going to listen to this? Maybe our mums.
Thanks, Mum.